secret. When we look at ancient philosophy, we discover that Kierkegaard wasn't the only one that questions what we hold in such high regard as a species: romantic love. In Buddhism, romantic love is recognized as potentially harmful. This means that the love between two people doesn't necessarily have to be true love, especially when it involves unhealthy attachment and suffering. As Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh states in an interview, if romantic love is true love, it can also bring a lot of happiness. But if it is not true love, it will make you suffer and make the other suffer as well. End quote. Now, this may seem obvious, but how many times the experience of falling in love goes together with deep desire and the pain that follows from it? As the Stoics already observed, the problem with desire is the disappointment when one fails to obtain the object of his desire. This leads to jealousy, possessiveness, and ownership. When two people are deeply in love with each other and want nothing more than being handcuffed together, they also produce a fear of separation, which is a form of suffering. An example in popular culture is Anakin Skywalker and his fear of losing Padme that controlled him almost completely. This fear, this deep desire to never be separated from her as he was separated from his mother, made him easily exploitable by evil. Anakin sacrifices the true love he is supposed to have as a Jedi for selfish and preferential love, regardless of the death and misery he creates by doing so. Eventually, he turns to the dark side. Now we have explored the pitfalls of falling in love. Is there a resolution? Is there a way to make love between two people sustainable? Well, according to Thich Nhat Hanh, it's possible for a couple that's romantically involved to experience true love. According to him, this true love needs 4 ingredients: loving kindness, which is the capacity to bring the other person happiness; compassion, which is the capacity to have concern for the other person's sufferings; joy, because it's important to have fun together and not make each other cry all the time; and inclusiveness, which means that two people become one and are willing to carry each other's burdens. This resembles the Stoic proposition on marriage by Musonius Rufus, who saw mutual care as the key ingredient for a successful union. I quote, "In marriage, there must be complete companionship and concern for each other on the part of both husband and wife, in health and in sickness, and at all times, because they entered upon the marriage for this reason, as well as to produce offspring." End quote. A problem many people face is that they seek relationships while operating from a place of lack, hoping that their partner will fill up their emptiness and make them whole. This isn't the right way to think about love. If we let our happiness depend on external forces, we put our money on something extremely unreliable. The infatuation phase we experience when we fall in love may make us feel complete for a while, but when the honeymoon is over, we return to this sense of incompleteness. That's why many people, faced with this inner lack, break up with one partner and find another to get that romantic high again. But completeness is not something to be found anywhere but in ourselves. Only when we feel complete as individuals, we're able to love without conditions. Falling in love, then, could be a beautiful experience that's not tainted by wants and needs. This way, we don't see it as a path to completeness, but as an opportunity to share our own completeness with someone else. Ideally, in the Kierkegaardian as well as the Buddhist sense, we enter the domain of non-preferential love, in which we don't just fall in love with our partner, but also with the rest of existence. As Lao Tzu wrote in the Tao Te Ching, "Love the whole world as if it were yourself. Then you will truly care for all things."